You know why I pulled you over, sir? You know, no, you tell me. You tell me why I pulled you over. It's because you were skipping legs. It's because you were skipping legs, goddammit. Let's be real. The most skipped, the most neglected, and frankly, one of the fucking most badass muscles on your whole frame. You know, it's like, I think it's got to do something about a little bit of the oversaturation of it. But, somebody having a big upper body that's kind of, I don't want to say par for the course, but you see it a lot. There's a reason Tom Platz is a fucking legend. Dude. Squad's out of this fucking world, man. Hamstrings as well. So, in no way imaginable as a at least reasonably serious, like dedicated lifter, should you ever catch yourself skipping them. Oh my goodness. Not cool, man. Not fucking cool. So, I know I'm not gonna. Apart from the times where, like, this last leg day, my hamstrings were still sore from the leg day previous. So I didn't do hamstrings, made that just a quad only day. But that is a very specific circumstance. That's the only time that a muscle would not be in a rotation, would be, well, of course, like injury, or if it's legitimately just not recovered from the previous lift. And if anything, that's a fucking good thing. It means my last lift went pretty fucking hard. So, plan for today, just to cut straight to it. Hamstrings first, but, oh, actually, no, but. Hamstrings first. Hamstring curls, probably, probably like all laying. This gym has like four different, or I don't, actually, I think more like five hamstring machines. Like four laying curls, and then one seated hamstring curl. I'm just not a huge fan of the seated one, so maybe I'll do it, maybe I won't, but most of the work is going to be from those hamstring curls, laying. Maybe some heavy ones, maybe some light ones, maybe some single leg alternating ones, who knows. We just find out once we get started and see how I feel. And, what I mean by that is like, don't, I don't want it to come across as though I'm just walking into the gym and then, picking exercises gung ho. I'm like, oh, that looks cool, do that. Oh, this looks cool, do that. Or like the rep schemes, it's not just on a fucking whim, man. If I walk into legs today, I warm up my hamstrings, sit down in the adductor machine a little bit, and I can tell my hamstrings are feeling pretty fucking rugged. Like, for whatever reason, well rested, well fed, well everything, well recovered, to the point where I know they can handle a lot of weight. Then odds are I may lean towards a few more kind of heavy, hard, nasty sets in combination with some lighter squeezing ones. Whereas, maybe I'm feeling a little bit like tendinitis, like something feels a little off. Just anything. If something's a little off kilter, not to the point where I actually like worry, like, okay, I probably shouldn't even do hamstrings today. I'm gonna pull something. But enough where I can say, okay, I probably don't want to do anything too crazy heavy today. Then something like that would make me say, all right, let's just keep it chill, light work, not light work, but do more light squeezing stuff and burn out with a little bit more control. And then same thing for quads. So if I roll up to the leg extension, and on the first couple sets, I can tell, like, dude, my knees are fucking wrecked right now. For one thing, I would just try to spend extra long warming up. But let's say my knees were just real fucking tender. Uh, Fuck, man. I could just make all of today's leg day just like maybe 6 or 7 light squeezing sets of leg extensions, just to maybe, give my whole sort of tendon area a break, you know? Whereas what I kind of expect is when they feel good and strong, then after a few sets of leg extensions to start, I'm going to say, all right, let's move some weight around. Let's put my quads through some serious work. They are the biggest muscle on your frame, so it would make sense you'd actually be lifting the most weight for your quads. And then, just jump around. I tried a different leg press last leg day at this gym that I really liked. I think I'm going to go back to that one for sure. But after leg extensions, it's I'll just kind of be directed by a combination of like what I think is going to actually feel good, let me go hard, as well as what's available. Because if I want to do Smith machine squats, let's say I just finished 2 sets of leg extensions, I can't see that side of the gym. So if I walk over with the intent of doing Smith squats and there's a guy doing incline bench, for one thing, I'm not going to sit there and wait 10 minutes for him to be done, because then I'm just going to be completely out of the zone. I don't know if there's a specific number, but to have like a substantial break, a substantial amount of time in your lifts where you're just sitting doing nothing, now, waiting for equipment, just talking, whatever, it's not awesome. You got to stay in the zone. You got to stay in this. You got to keep your head in the game, like, for real. And not even just mentally, but I'm going to lose my fucking pump, man. I'm going to lose, because there's kind of it's probably different for like a power lifter style training, but in terms of like the hypertrophy style of like, more bodybuilding kind of focused training, I feel like there's a certain momentum that you're building up throughout the workout, which should not be lost on just like, okay, I'm going to take 20 minutes and chill and then come back to biceps. Like, no, I think if you're hitting a muscle, you should kind of keep it moving until it's done. Now, if you're doing supersets, like 3 sets of leg extensions, I mean, 3 sets of quads, 3 sets of hamstrings, 3 sets of quads, 3 sets of hamstrings, that's a little bit different. But you're not going to catch me wait for the Smith machine. So if it's taken, and I'm not, so I'm not going to sit there and wait. And I'm definitely not going to say, hey man, can I work in with squats when you're doing incline bench press on the Smith? Can we just like move the bench around and add weight and like, it's just not feasible sometimes. I guess you might have to do what you got to do, but that's certainly not plan A. So if that's the case, I'm just gonna fucking reroute, say, okay, I'll save Smith machine squats for later. Maybe I'll go back and do another set of leg extensions, or maybe I'll just move on to a whole new pressing movement entirely. So a couple things to think about there. But in terms of total volume, I think hamstrings are going to be cooked around like set 6, maybe 7. That's just guessing. I'll kind of have to actually start the lift to know. But quads, who's to say? We'll see. I think adding a little bit more quad volume might be in my best interest. And when I say quad volume, I don't mean like, oh shit, almost missed my exit. Whoops. But so when I say more volume, I don't mean like just adding more sets baseline. I kind of mean just adding a few more sets of like just kind of, I don't want to say fluff work, but I mean just, to accumulate more damage in my quads, because I've made a reasonable amount of quad gains, of course, by doing like a few heavy sets of leg extensions, like 1 or 2 heavy sets of squats, and then like going back and doing 2 more sets of leg extensions. And all those sets are pretty much to failure as hard as I can go. But I think I'm missing out on a certain amount of fatigue, which is going to come with doing more sets that might be just a little bit less taxing on my whole system. And what I mean by that is like, I'll do my 2 sets of leg extensions first, warm up my quads, warm up my knees, get me ready for pressing. And then once I do pressing, I'll still do some heavy shit first. Maybe start with some heavy leg press or some heavy Smith machine squats. 1, 2, maybe 3 sets, like really fucking heavy. I'm going hard. And then, move on to maybe a more light kind of, just more light work. And I don't mean like baby work, like light squeezing shit. I mean like getting on one of the machine leg presses and doing like a few more sets of 20. Maybe not even like to complete like muscular failure, but to have done like an extra 4 sets of 20 sets of like a machine leg press, like my quads are gonna be wrecked. And I think I need more pressing work. I really do. So like, I love the leg extension, of course, and I'm never not gonna do leg extensions. That's always gonna be a pretty solid movement in my arsenal for quads, because in terms of the squeeze, it's really unbeatable. There's no leg press, and there's no there's no squat where you're squeezing at the top. With every leg movement that's not a leg extension, all of the like the heft of the weight is actually at the bottom, you know? So leg extensions differ because instead of having all the tension in like the stretch position, you get to really squeeze and contract at the top in the fully flexed position. So in terms of actually like varying your training, that's what I want to fucking do. Like on hamstring, well, hamstring curls are pretty similar to the RDLs in terms of the strength curve. But what I'm trying to say there, I'm not going to stop doing leg extensions, but I am going to do more pressing work. That is for fucking sure. But no point chatting about it. Oh, and one other thing, pre-workout timing wise, legs is a long lift. Legs is a fucking long lift to the point where I'm going to be in here for like probably 2 hours. And I'm not doing 2 hours worth of work, but I got to rest for a few minutes in between sets. So what I'm going to end up doing is this is probably the one instance where I would say it might be better off to drink your pre-workout immediately when you get to the gym, because I don't need that much crazy fucking caffeinated energy to do hamstrings. It's just not necessary. So if I slam the 400 millis of caffeine right when I get to the gym, finish hamstrings, all's well and good, and then I'll actually be like kind of fully energized for quads. For a while, what I would do is I would actually I'd take pre-workout, like just normal whatever, and then halfway through legs, like maybe 2-3 sets before I was about to do quads, I would take a caffeine pill. I'd like empty it out into some water so it was like immediately absorbed. So I get like an extra 200 milligrams like delayed in the workout. And then I'd be a little bit extra caffeinated for fucking quads. So a little bit of insight there. But the caffeine, maybe ease up on it a little bit, because I think the bigger you get, obviously you're gonna be able to handle more caffeine and have it not be fucking crazy. But if you're a 160 pounder, you probably don't need 600 milligrams of caffeine for your arm day. That's you probably don't need 1,000 milligrams of caffeine for your shoulder day. Don't go overboard there, because there is no extra, pump. There's no extra benefit to be gained from going too fucking crazy on that side of things. But let's just get started. Hamstrings first, warm out my calves a touch, and then get right into the thick of it, goddammit. Alright, set number 1, light squeezing single leg alternating. I know that's a lot of fancy pants fucking workout phrases, but what it really boils down to, and why I want to do this as the first set, is when you're fresh, when you're not pumped, you can squeeze so much harder. Like I couldn't tell you the exact like scientific effect, but especially with something like triceps is a good example. When I'm fresh, my triceps are, I've warmed up, but they're pretty much unpumped, cold in a way. When I take the rope and I do like rope push-downs and I really squeeze at the bottom, I can squeeze so fucking hard. Whereas at the end of a tricep day, when they're already pretty pumped, oh goodness, I can't even get like that full extension. So when I'm fresh, I kind of want to make use of that fact and be able to squeeze extra hard. And then another thing, by starting with a lighter squeezing set, you don't have to warm up as much. If I were to want to start with a set of the full stack, I'd have to sit here for another like 5-ish warm-up reps, or warm-up sets in a way, gradually increasing weight. So, though I don't think that's a bad method, it's a little bit quicker to actually get started if your first few sets are a little lighter. Now, that's not with all movements, though. Like with something like chest, I'm not going to start with a light squeezing set of, or at least not a super light squeezing set of chest. I want to actually load it. But sometimes I do like that. So, no more talking. Let's just bust this one out. One more like that. A little too heavy. Let's do one more back of the original weight and then go from there. Okay. Oh my God. Whew. That was good. That was some good openers. Let's do some RDLs. I need a step stool for this Smith machine because it's not like a barbell. It actually like bottoms out at like knee height. So that's not enough stretch, but only 2 plates. You know, this is no Hunter Labrada craziness. I gotta ease into that. But kind of a squeezing RDL. And I haven't really actually understood this for like a massive amount of time, only kind of like the last few years. And even then I haven't really been maximizing it. But there's a serious benefit, at least I think, to hip hinging for your hamstrings. You know, I feel like, I mean, it just makes sense. Like, sure, it is responsible for a lot of this. Like, that is most of it, I would say. But I get a crazy squeeze, and I feel it in completely different parts of my hamstring than I do with curls. So, I mean, fuck, maybe I should do a fucking hip hinging focused hamstring lift every so often to really change it up. But for now, I'll just do a reasonable combination of the two. Most of the heavy work on the hamstring curls and some solid squeezing shit over here. But nothing else to say. Let's just get amped up for it. Oh my gosh. Oh. Oh. Ah, goodness. So with these sets, failure is a little bit ambiguous looking. Because I could probably keep doing a few more 30 reps, use a lot of glutes and lower back. But I'm just trying to take it to a point where my hamstrings are near failure only. I'm not trying to work my glutes here. You know, that's where I feel a little bit bad for like the 4% female viewers. I can't really give you any glute training tips because I don't do any. You know, you need to find a female lifter to get some of those tips. But let's keep going. I think just one more. And don't so RDLs, don't get it wrong. These are fucking tricky. You know, it's very easy to use your fucking glutes and your lower back and your fucking lats to like muscle the weight up. But it's not a deadlift. You know, sure, it's got deadlift in the name, but the Romanian part, dude, way fucking different. And don't feel bad if you can't really feel it. I couldn't fucking feel RDLs for years before I actually started to even get it even a little. But now I can actually feel like I'm fucking pulling with my hamstrings, which it seems so weird. That's not even what they do. Or it's not like, I don't know. It almost feels, it's like so counterintuitive. It's like trying to extend your arm with your bicep. That's maybe not exactly, but it's tricky. You'll get the hang of it from experience. Well, let's get amped up. Oh gosh. Oh. 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 I was starting to use a little bit of glutes or a little bit of, glutes and lower back to self-assist. Whew. I think that's it for hamstrings though. They're gonna get some activation from the leg presses that we're gonna do later. So I think 5 good sets will be enough because they're gonna get just a touch more work. But let's go rack this weight, camp out on the leg extension, and get ready to start the real part of legs. So I'm not crazy. I'm not a crazy man. I'm not going to do the full stack single leg, even though I feel pretty fucking strong today. I'm going to curb my strength, leave it at 220 instead of 250, but same approach as normal, even though it is a bit of weight. 5 reps on the left side, 5 on the right, 5 on the left, 5 on the right, back and forth, as many as I can muster. And I'll probably do 2 of these, maybe 3. And then I'm getting excited for that Smith machine squat. So let me just try not to lose my hype until then. So I don't think that'll be a problem. All right. And this buckle is fucking awesome. Okay. Okay. Keep getting fucking hairs in my mouth. But let's run it back. One notch heavier. Those feel really good. Oh, quads warm, knees warm. Let's go fucking squat of the Smith variety. I usually don't show the warm-up before my actual working set of squats. I probably should, just for clarity's sake, because I do not immediately throw 5 plates on rack and fucking go balls out. That's crazy. Even if my quads are warm, no chance. And then, not even related to my fucking quads, I need to loosen up my shoulders, because when you get a little bit more muscular in your chest and your shoulders and everything else, getting into an actual squat position, depending on your flexibility, can actually get a little tricky. So before I even rack the fucking weight, I'm going to sit here and try to open myself up so that it's not super uncomfortable for me to be underneath the bar. Suffering from size, as it were. But I'm okay with that. I am more than okay with that. I should really start doing my actual stretching routine. I know how to stretch. I know how to like loosen myself up, fucking head to toes. I just fucking, I'm talking straddle. I'm talking, if you've ever done anything kind of acrobatic, you know what I'm talking about. But I've just been fucking lazy. But 2 plates I'll start with, a few reps. Then I'll do 3 plates for a few, and 4 for probably just 1, and 5 for probably just 1 to really feel it. And then as long as everything feels good, that's my cue to go crazy. There we go. All systems green. So I'll just do 1 plate, or 3 plates, 4 plates, 5 plates. Then we can cut to the first working set. Whatever weight that ends up being. Oh my God. Yeah. That was dirty. That was dirty in a good way. Holy shit. Let's drop it to 5 plates. Do one more. Fuck. Oh, I can barely fucking walk. Just 5 on this one. Yeah. 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 Oh my God. Holy shit. Oh my God. That's enough of that. Oh my God. Let's move on to something else. Oh my goodness. I might just sit here for a moment. I had to take a few minutes after that second set of squats. I know it's not a fucking hydration issue. I drink a fucking crazy amount of fluids today. But as soon as I unracked that fucking 5 plate squat second set, dude, I got like a fucking crazy back of the head headache. But I didn't have it for the first set. I think I might have just stood up like really quick, and I went from like kind of resting heart rate to like elevated because I was so excited. Yeah, so it took a few minutes. It's kind of subsided now, but let's get some leg press sets in here. So the strength curve on this one is kind of tricky because it's like, it's actually, is it heavier at the bottom or either way, this thing's fucking heavy. So I'll do as many as I can. Fucking fail pretty much and just do it again. Not a bad approach. Not a bad freaking approach, I said. Come on, goddammit. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. 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 Oh, fuck. Holy crap. Yeah, this is like extra heavy at the fucking bottom. Oh, man. A few more. A few more just like that. God damn it. Holy crap. Whew. Yeah. Fuck. Oh. Let's keep spamming these. Holy crap. Whoop. It's weird. I'm feeling a lot of like upper quad instead of like a ton of shit down here. But I think 2 more, then go finish on leg extension shit. Sissy squats will be involved. Yeah. Okay. One more. Yeah. Oh my God. Okay. Let's move on. We can discuss it in a moment. I gotta fucking breathe. God damn it. I have reason to believe that this is it. So, what is the magic finisher? Nothing crazy. Just alternating leg extensions, light with a weight I can really squeeze and hold at the top. And I think that's it. No sissy, well, maybe sissy squats if I think they're necessary. But let's finish portion A of the set before we decide to get fucking, jiggy with it. So this light is weight enough. I don't need the belt to hold me down. All I need is to get amped up. Okay, come on. Yeah. 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 One more. Okay. All right, let's do some 60 squats. Come on. Yeah. 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 Okay. Legs complete. Let's go find some lighting. Oh. All right. In frame and insane. Oh, today was a good lift. Holy shit. I think let's actually talk details in the car and just fucking pose down. I'm still in the process of breath recovery. God damn. So you tell me. I mean, this is definitely the legs of somebody who did a good leg day. At least I fucking hope so. Holy crap. I'll just leave the pants on one leg. Holy shit. Reasonably carved up today. I think I've had like 3,000 or so calories. So I've got a good chunk of food left to eat when I get home. But definitely not behind in the fullness department. Holy crap. Oh. Dude, I can't even fucking pose right now. Sheesh. Let's just do one Arnold and skedaddle. Might have to try to back up into the really freaky lighting. Let's get in the car and talk, dude. I'm fucking dying. Oh, there we go. Some time has passed. Some time has indeed passed. I was getting my chat on post workout with some of the older lifters in there. That's the way to do it. Get some OG knowledge and tips. But that was a really good leg day. That was a leg day which I can now sit in the car and say, holy shit. Nothing left on the table. Right? Didn't leave anything to chance. That was pretty good. Now, of course, I could have gone harder. You can always go harder. It's kind of just the nature of things. But there's a certain realm of kind of intensity and effort where you did go hard, man. You push yourself to a fucking satisfactory level. And I think what's a little bit unfortunate is the fact that that's not like a crazy fucking common thing to do, you know? Like it's we're in a very self-accepting age right now. We're in a very pro self-acceptance, you are perfect kind of dogma right now, at least in the States, that I'm starting to really notice. And like self-improvement is the complete opposite thought process there, you know? So it's like you have either two sides of the spectrum, right? I'm exactly perfect. Everything that I do right now is completely perfect. I don't want to be troubled. I don't want to be pressured. And then on the other side, you have like, oh my God, I'm not where I want to be. Fuck, holy shit. And in both cases, I think that sucks, right? In either extreme, that's not where you want to be, you know? At least because there's serious benefits to going hard and making progress, not at just working out, but at anything, you know? Fucking getting smarter, getting better at certain skills, whatever you're particularly interested in. And if you combine that with something that you're good at as well, then that's really the fucking sweet spot. But what you really need is that sweet spot right in the middle. You know, I don't go to the gym every day and think, oh my God, I'm such a piece of shit. I'm so fucking small. Oh, I gotta work. I need to work out so I can be bigger, so I can be happy with myself. It's not exactly the thought process. That sucks. You know, and I don't know exactly what to tell somebody to not think like that. But it kind of draws towards like a desperation for effort, which I don't think is a really natural motivator. You know, it's like negative kind of motivation is never conducive with long-term legit progress, and it's definitely not conducive with long-term fucking enjoyment of what you're doing. But also, if you don't actually push yourself and you don't want to realize a certain level of achievement and you just want to stay exactly where you are and you're like very comfortable, then you're not going to get anywhere. You're just going to continue to be the same dude you were yesterday perpetually. And eventually everyone's going to have a moment where they realize like, oh fuck, I got to lock in. Oh man, I really want to like I think eventually everyone has that thought process to some degree. But if you have that realization too late, then I mean, look, this isn't we're not living in la la land here. We've only got so much time to do certain stuff. And if whatever you're interested in is something physical, then odds are when you're in your prime, your kind of 20s, teenagers, not to say that it's never too late, but your prime years are kind of where you got to lock that shit in, I think. So there's got to be a middle ground. There's a middle ground of motivation where your thought process is not like, okay, I need to get like this to be happy. And it's also like, I'm not, and it's also not like, oh, I'm exactly where I want to be. Because that's kind of, it's like somewhere in between delusion and desperation is, I would say, a discipline in a way, right? So when I'm working out, this is my thing. I want to get good at it. I want to keep doing it, and I do enjoy doing it. So my thought process is not either of those cases. It's really a combination of the two. I want to make gains. I want to be, I mean, not as a person like, oh, I'm better now that I'm bigger. No, I just want to be bigger purely because that's an achievement and a fucking like it takes effort to get there. Like that's what I want to do. That's the vector of my energy right now. But I want to achieve this. I'm not there yet. But the fact that I know that I'm on track towards my goals gives me a certain satisfaction right now. So it's a combination of delayed gratification and day by day goal achievement gratification. So if you want to learn how to, I always say learn guitar. It's tricky. Nobody can just pick up a fucking guitar and start shredding. It does take a considerable amount of time and effort first. But I mean, that's anything skill related. I just kind of end up saying guitar a lot. But if that's your thing, then yes, you're not where you want to be right now. Holy fuck, this guy's really slamming into me. But you're not where you want to be yet, right? But that doesn't mean that you have to be fucking like, upset with where you are, you know? Making minor improvements over time, that's going to give you your day by day gratification. The first time you hit your fucking G chord, dude, dopamine release in a good way because you're learning something, you're getting a little bit better at it. And then over time, eventually you're going to kind of realize whatever end goal you had set, as long as you match your, day by day practice towards wherever that is. And then at the end of it, right, you're now better than you were before. And in the process, you probably improved as a dude. I'm definitely, I mean, just by getting older, you get a little bit more mature and fucking smarter. But I think the working out process has definitely made me a bit more well-rounded as a fucking guy. Definitely more fucking confident. And that might just be to do with the fact that, we're still animals. You know, like we can use computers and we can scroll on TikTok. Like we're pretty fancy, but at a baseline animalistic level, I think being big and strong does make you feel kind of good, especially if you're a guy. So that's a couple factors that play there. But it's like I think the guys who seriously go hard and seriously get far and enjoy the process of doing so, they do that because they have a desire, they want to improve over time, but they're also content enough with where they are at any given moment where they're not in like complete distress, because you're not going to perform well if you're freaking out. You're not going to perform well if you're stressed. You're not going to perform well if you're like, yeah, if you feel like you have to get everything done exactly right now. And that's where having a little bit more of a delayed gratification centered mindset will help you out. You've got time. You've got time to, achieve whatever it is you're aiming for. but you only have so much time. So it's like you've got time to do what you want, but you should probably start a little bit sooner than later, just because you got to have a little bit of fucking fire in your belly to get moving. So enough enough thought process talk there, man. You know what I when I finished that leg day, after I finished that set of leg extensions, and I was sitting down for a minute, just kind of thinking to myself before I started talking, I definitely understand. I definitely understand why people don't like to train legs. You know, I get. Don't worry. Like I'm not baffled. I'm not going to sit here and say I have no idea why you would skip legs. I don't know why you would go easy on legs. Like I know why. Going hard on legs is fucking hard. That is pretty difficult. Out of all my lifts, a hard leg day is the most demanding compared to anything else. You know, no matter how hard of an arm day I do, if the intensity is similar on my leg day, that leg day is way fucking harder. It's just a massive muscle group. It's taking so much oxygen load. I mean, it's a lot of work all at once. I was talking to somebody when I was warming up leg extensions. I was like, you know, I'm kind of thinking about like splitting up legs into a two a day, and like, you know, come to the gym kind of earlier in the morning to do hamstrings and then finishing quads later. But then it's like, well, you know, the kind of end conclusion I said at the end of that little talk with him was, yeah, I think legs is just hard. A good leg day is just fucking hard, man. It's long, you know, you're sweating your ass off, you're fucking tired, you're breathing heavy. But going through that, that makes you a better lifter, man. You know, doing hard shit and then coming out the other side. That's what makes you fucking. I mean, that's what makes a baller, you know. So it's somebody I keep seeing this same TikTok audio a lot, and it's pretty fucking true. It's the guy's basically saying like a blade is only a blade only becomes strong once it goes through the fire, you know. So like by doing hard shit, by actually doing things that are like legit difficult. I don't mean just like, you know, mow the lawn because your dad told you to. I mean like something where you want to do it and you're like, okay, this is hard. I gotta bring it. I gotta actually lock in for this one. Dude, that's where a lot of, I mean, maybe not even personal growth, but that's where a lot of at least like mental toughness is gonna come from. Like, I don't know if you've ever tried to get in an ice bath. That shit is fucking hard. I would not want to get in an ice bath right now. I've done them before, and that first time I do them is always the hardest because I kind of sometimes I get into like an ice bath kick when I'm dieting down, so I'll do them after cardio every morning. But dude, they're fucking hard, man, and it's pretty uncomfortable the whole way through. But you get a certain fucking like sensation and kind of like introspection about yourself when you know, dude, that was fucking hard, and you did it. You're the one that fucking did it. And nobody told you to. Nobody forced you to. Right? You put this kind of challenge upon yourself and you stepped up to it. And that's something which I think everybody eventually gets their hands on. You know, sometimes it takes a little bit longer, but it's like what do you do things for? Who are you doing things for? Right? I mean, if you're kind of one of the high school viewers, let's say you're doing some kind of sport or whatever, a lot of the times, I mean, I've seen this a lot, especially in, I mean, I'm just kind of all over the place. A lot of the times when I see guys in whatever sort of sport and they don't perform as well as they wanted to, like a diving competition or a gymnastics thing, or like a football or whatever, like a lot of the times they're kind of freaking out because they have to go and, you know, talk to their parents and kind of, I mean, basically get fucking ripped on. That's half of that's on the fucking, you know, the parents are being so fucking forceful upon them. But it's like that's not, you know, how are you going to get good at anything if your only motivator to actually work hard at it is, you know, to please somebody else? I mean, that's no fun, man. That's no fucking fun. So that's where I think the guys who do the best at anything are the ones where they have the strongest and the most like actually impactful motivating source isn't from anybody external. It's not for anyone's approval or anybody else's opinions or to like to satisfy someone's expectations. It's purely to do something because you know that you want to do it. And if nobody watches, you would still be doing it anyway. Right? So that's where I think I'm a little bit extra spoiled because I no longer lift alone. Like every time I work out, every time I have a crazy amount of weight on the squat rack or something, I know you guys are watching me. So that's where I think overall the posting stuff has actually probably improved my intensity because I don't want to I don't want to record a schmuck set, right? But I think I'd still be going hard anyway, of course. But it's the lifts where nobody's watching, where when you actually really fucking push it, like that changes you. That changes a fucking person, right? If you take two characters, right, you put them both in a fucking closed, a locked room, no windows, no nothing, right, and you told each of them like, all right, I want you to I want you to do squats to failure right now. I'm not gonna check you for it. Right? Little things like that. You know, the guy who actually does it, he's a different breed, man. Because a lot of, I mean, fuck, dude. If nobody's watching and nobody's gonna hold you accountable, what's the percentage of people that would just chill, right? And that's this kind of example may not be that clear. It makes more sense in my head because I'm the one thinking about it. But it's and I can't tell you how to do that. I can't exactly tell somebody how to get excited about training. I can't tell somebody like how to how to really fucking like dig deep before a set of squats and you're fucking freaking out under the bar like I, all I can kind of say is my own experience with it. And after those sets of squats, I felt pretty fucking proud of myself. I got to finish it, racking on the first one. I don't actually, I'm not totally sure. It did not feel like I could do one more during this set, but looking back at it with the speed of it, maybe I could have. And then the second set to complete failure, that's a little bit more clear cut. But it's like, there's just something about that where to be able to push it purely for your own enjoyment, that's gonna fucking let you go the furthest. Right? That will let you go the furthest, the hardest, probably the fucking best. Like, and it's not necessarily the best idea to look at like the 1%, to look at the outliers as examples because they're outliers for a reason. A lot of like situations and fucking skill sets are very lined up perfectly. But like when you look at a fucking crazy basketball star, these guys are shooting hoops for fucking 4 hours straight. Or I mean, oh, this is fucking wild. When I hear I think it's either LeBron or somebody, but he's talking about how he's doing 2 hour sessions 5 times throughout the whole day. Dude, he doesn't give a shit if anybody's watching him do that. He's on his grind because he knows he wants to get better. Shit like that. It's like I don't know how else I can say it. You know, there's a there's a certain satisfaction that comes with proficiency at whatever given skill set you're trying to maximize. And I think that's something which you kind of have to find out for yourself. But the sooner you can kind of set yourself on that path towards getting crazy good at something, the better. Because I'm not lying to you, time is ticking on the fucking regular. Well, not even. That's a pretty constant. That's a pretty guaranteed situation, right? No matter how you spend your days, those days will still pass, and they add up. They add up. Whether you fucking were grinding or if you were slacking, those days add up. And if you look back at your last year, last 2 years, your last few months, and you try to tally that shit up, and you say like, oh crap, for every 1 day of grinding, I had 4 days of chilling. It's not going to work. That math is not going to add up, no matter how, no matter how legally ambiguous your accountant is. That math is not going to check out. So that's all I got to say there, man. That's all I got to say. But for me, I finished a nasty leg day. I'm going to sleep like a baby. And before then, I'm going to eat until my belly is full and I've hit my 5,000 calorie goal, which Actually, I lied. I've already had 3,500 calories for today, so a 1,500 calorie meal right at the end of it. Not bad. Not bad, I say. I do it. So, I think that's all, man. I'll see you tomorrow for a freaky, pumped, veiny, vascular, and every other badass adjective under the sun chest day. So, get some sleep.